good. All right. Thank you for your
No
patience.
worries.
Okay. All right. COGEL community. Hello. My name is Mary Fox. I am the executive director from the Pennsylvania State Ethics Commission, and I am pleased to have with me today Kristin Izumi-Nitao, executive director of the state of Hawaii's Campaign Spending Commission, and the recipient of COGEL's 2024 Outstanding Service Award. And I'm here to interview her and ask her a few questions about her service with COGEL. So, Kristen, thank you for joining me. It's wonderful to be here with you.
Thank you, Mary. Very nice meeting you too.
All right, so my first question is, what was your career path that led you to Hawaii's Campaign Spending Commission?
Oh, Mary, there was no career path.
Mhm,
I truly stumbled on my way to this position. Previously, I did a lot of prosecution work
mhm,
and headed up an internet crimes technology forensic task force at the Attorney General's office in Hawaii
okay.
that involved investigations and prosecutions of high-tech crime in federal, state, and county law enforcement organizations, and we actually even included Guam. Um, so it was kind of in this position that I found an interest in organizational management,
Mhm.
in strategic planning, defining shared interests and issues, and building collaborations. And so there just really came a time that I wanted to build on these skill sets in a civil administrative arena, which really then led me to the commission.
Wonderful. Isn't it interesting how you don't have an expected path, but here we are doing something we love? It's
Oh,
interesting.
for sure. In
Mhm.
politics, no less. That was never in my wildest dreams.
Mhm. All right. So how and why did you get involved with COGL?
So Hawaii had always been a member of COGEL for a while. So I naturally, like you, assumed the role when I was hired in November 2010 as the commission's sixth executive director. My first conference was in Washington, D.C.,
Mhm.
and I was clearly, as many new executive directors are, a deer in headlights. When I was so fortunate, I had some members like I remember Jane Feldman and Colleen Murphy, Carol Carson, and of course Darren Lim. Just really just to name a few, took pity on me and quickly got me involved on COGEL committees, which then led to serving on the steering committee, as you know, now called the board of directors, nominating committee, membership committee, and program committee. So anyway, currently I'm just serving on the program committee for this year's conference in Atlanta to assist Patrick Llewellyn and Catherine Motherwell, who are this year's chairs.
Great, great. So what do you value most about COGL?
Um, oh, easy, hands down, bar none. It's the people. It's the members. As you know, I've had the privilege, really of meeting and working with so many great people. COGIL really thrives on the participation of its members, and it's really um, important, I think, to jump in and meet as many people as you can and um, make your connections because they will serve you a lifetime.
Mhm. Yes, and my experience has been that the people that are affiliated with COGL are welcoming, kind, and so willing to help and happy to help whenever they can.
True. And I think it's a unique organization. Having served on program, an organization that's committed to building a network, building, through engagement activities. So for those who haven't done so, or if it's going to be your first time at the conference, I encourage you to do the dine rounds.
Mhm.
Of course, we've started launching new things like a yoga session. There's now some running and walking sessions. I think we sort of explored a photography session, a museum around, which is wonderful.
Mhm.
And they're all done by COGA members who just really are, similarly interested in meeting people. So I think it makes it extremely unique for an organization that goes above and beyond trying to connect its members, because I think what we do is tough out there and we do get beaten up. So it's really good to be able to have a good, safe, solid place to explore ideas,
Mhm.
to get centered and regrouped, particularly in December, which is usually sometimes after elections. So yes, it is bar none the people that make COGEL so valuable.
And I agree, absolutely. Yeah. Has your participation in COGIL led you to any aha moments with the work that you do?
Um, I think along the same lines, the kind of work we all do um, in the public sector receives a lot of attention and public visibility. And I think my aha moment is that similar to what I kind of said earlier, is that it doesn't have to be tough, or at least it doesn't have to be weathered alone.
Mhm.
Because the connections you make with your COGA colleagues, I think you'll find that they are the best, most empathetic,
Mhm.
and certainly most informed resource. And so my aha moment is really to capture that and realize that along the same lines of the valuable piece of members, these are a great resource and can make your life, your professional life, which always, always bleeds into your personal life,
Mhm.
much more reasonable and certainly much more understandable. And again, it's just great to be able to know you're in an area that you have people standing next to you, and
Right.
supporting you.
Right, right. It feels like in some ways we're speaking the same language. It's you don't need to explain everything. It's easy to
Yes.
communicate with people. So where do you see COGIL and generally the COGIL disciplines heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
So, I see a few big trends coming up. And of course, one I think everyone can agree in, and I don't think is even unique to Kogel, but it's technology.
Mhm.
With AI, digital platforms, and in our world, new ways of campaigning and lobbying.
Mhm.
I think that's going to test our ability to adapt with our laws and our rules very quickly. I also think that there's, a trend for public demand for transparency. I think it's only going to grow stronger
Mhm.
with expectations that government not just release information, but make it understandable,
Mhm.
useful, and truthful. Um, and lastly, I do think that there's a trend towards the cross-discipline collaboration.
Mhm.
I think that's essential. Campaign finance, ethics, lobbying, elections, FOIA, they can't live in silos. And the issues are too interconnected, and our shared interest in transparency and open government binds our disciplines. So I think circling back, the good news is that COGIL members are uniquely positioned to lead in navigating these changes together. As you've seen at the program, the programming for the conference.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. If you had one piece of advice for someone that's beginning a career in any one of the COGIL disciplines, what would your advice be and why?
I would say to be curious,
Hmm.
stay open-minded, make connections at the COGIL conference, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Learn from your colleagues. Our laws can be technical, and in this age of technology and distrust in government, we must remember that fundamentally we share a value proposition of strengthening democracy through information, education, open government, rule of law, and doing this respectfully, professionally, and with integrity. And by all means, a big piece of advice is to keep a sense of humor. I think laughter is a pretty good form of resilience and makes the tough days a lot easier. So I would like to do a shout out and a huge thank you to Alex Kipp, who chairs your committee, for
Yes.
his
Thank you.
contributions to this field and always agreeing to do a session at the conference to build these skill sets. So if anyone hasn't taken one of his sessions, it's again one of the a very unique session full of energy, and I think you walk out rejuvenated.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you. So why do you think that you were selected for the COGEL's Outstanding Service Award?
Oh God, I have really no idea. I'd have to guess that it's because I've always said yes when asked to help, whether it's serving on a committee or co-chairing a program or serving on a panel. Um, really, as I mentioned, COGIL really runs on members pitching in, and it's unique to the extent that its members are very generous with their time, their ideas, and their support. And it becomes very easy to say yes when it's now your COGIL friends who are asking for your help. So yeah, I was very humbled to be awarded this recognition because it's from an organization that I respect, that I've learned a lot from and continue to learn from, and it really has given me more than I could have hoped for.
Mhm. Well, it's very, very well deserved. And I have one more question for you. Um, can you tell us what is the proudest moment of your career or your proudest accomplishment so far?
So far, well, I think one of my proudest accomplishments has been building trust in the Hawaii
Mhm.
Campaign Spending Commission. And that was done by pairing strong enforcement with an equally strong commitment to transparency, education, and accountability. Over the years, I've seen candidates and treasurers, the media, the public, and even the skeptics out there come to appreciate that our role isn't just about catching mistakes and enforcing the law. It's really about helping people understand the law so they can participate with integrity. And that shift in perception doesn't happen overnight. I mean, a lot of people still to this day think of us as a gotcha agency, but it has been incredibly meaningful and rewarding to overcome that and be a place for people to call for information, to share issues with, to share concerns with, to care about the politics in our community. And it reminds me that public service really is at its best. I think when the community feels that the system is fair, accessible, transparent, and in our case, particularly neutral and apolitical.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. Thank you for your wisdom, your perspective. It was really wonderful to hear from you today, and I'm looking forward to having the whole COCO community hear from you too through this video. So, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mary. I really appreciate the time and the
Yes,
opportunity to talk with you, and I can't wait to meet you as well face to
yes,
face. So
I
thank you for
agree.
doing this.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you,
you for saying
Kristen.
yes.
Thank you. I do have a tendency to say yes. So I imagine you're going to see me around at more things. But thank you so much for doing this. And
Wonderful.
yeah.